Markus. Audio test, mic test. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. I mean, you'd think if I'm always, people always have to crank their microphone or their speakers or something, right? Oh, they wouldn't. I'm engulfed in a sea of audio confusion and darkness. There's only one way out. Ignorance. What is up, Exeter? Hello, everybody. Enjoy these quick tunes while we get the show ready. And we will be starting shortly.
to ask everybody I met, singing, oh, 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 oh. Just a shot away from the corner where I used to play with my friends as a kid. I saw a man with a pulled-up collar playing banjo with an invisible stick, singing, oh, 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 sing now, oh, oh, I turn around and wave to a kid who is running on his bike. Another day to spend doing nothing, just wait until the night. And if to find salvation, it's the only thing to do. You don't have to look no further, 'cause I'll take care of it for you. I'll take care of it for you. Why do I have to be so humble when the rest of the world doesn't care about a thing? It's such a waste of a generation to do nothing about the condition we're in, saying, oh, sing now, oh, I turn around and wave to a kid who is running on his bike. Another day to spend doing nothing, just wait until the night. And if to find salvation, it's the only thing to do. You don't have to look no further, 'cause I'll take care of it for you. If to find salvation, it's the only thing to do. You don't have to look no further, 'cause I'll take care of it for you. I'll take care of it for you. Don't look no further. All right. I get dressed up to go downtown. I'm all messed up on a Friday night. Not really here for a good time, but if you're up for drinks and a good crowd, raise your glass to the sky. Let's toast to that. All these people can stare. I don't care about that. This is my pity party. I'm gonna cry all night and I'll flip the bird at the guys. I don't need nobody. This is my pity party. I'll do just what I want, yeah. I'll dance on top of the bar. I won't come down on it. I'll just do what I want. This is my pity party, pity party. If my highs are highs, my lows are low. Need to blow off some steam to get back up. I'm not someone you should cheat on, 'cause when I come back strong. Raise your glass to the sky. Let's toast to that. All these people can stare. I don't care about that. This is my pity party. I'm gonna cry all night and I'll flip the bird at the guy.
from the start. Your state of the art, from your vintage shoes to your cool tattoos. But you're still
Babushka. Let me tell you, today is done. Are you guys ready? I need to know. 'Cause if you don't know, what the hell am I supposed to do? Poor little Blackie. He's getting so old. Oh, man. Couldn't I just get hired on already as a talking asshole on cable? Like, I could be just as stupid as all of those people and 3 times as funny, man. Just, I do all the work and I just have to entertain. I don't have to do any of the back end shit. Fucking amazing. Because don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing the technical stuff. Man. But I tell you, 420, let's go. It would be amazing. Just to have a team, to have people to help with this, I'd already be successful, man. And I'm not saying that that's the reason I'm not. I can do this alone. It's just hard. Hard to be the only person that cares about your success. And I know people are going to take that offended. I can't help you with that. It's the way I feel, you know? Ultimately, being supported and being encouraged are 2 very different things. And just having an army of people similarly invested with a general goal and ultimate motivation towards the same collective goal, you just can't be fucking stopped, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's why it's so important to constantly look for people who are willing to spend their time and energy and effort on you. That's really what it is. That's why work is so much easier than being self-employed. Because with work, you have that. You have the owner of the company. The owner of the company is Markus. And he gets to inspire and educate and push and motivate and like have a stake in the game. He's actually invested. That's why I probably did so well at work all the time. It's probably why I always got promoted. Because I gave a shit. It wasn't my business, but I was working and I liked doing a good job and I liked supporting people, you know? And it just, yeah, doing that for yourself is great. It's just hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. So, yeah, I just thought I'd want to share that for a second. And honestly, I mean, at this point, yeah, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. It's different. Because as much as the government sucks at helping, they are trying. They just fail constantly, and that's why I don't want to give them more power. Because the government has the best intentions and the absolute worst execution. The government means well, and then they'll light you on fire while telling you, like, I'm helping. Like, you're not. I'm literally on fire. It's like, well, we mean well. And, like, that's where if it gets too big, right, if you have too many well-meaning assholes, then it's fucked. Because you have too many well-meaning people who are doing it to stroke their ego. Well, my program will save this many people. And, well, my medical money will do this much for so many others. And it's just, no, you're not doing shit because you're too far removed from reality. And you're just trying to fluff your fucking resume so you get more government money later, man. It's crazy. If society would just do it, we wouldn't need government. Anyway, with all that being said, let's start this.
This is a public service announcement presented by Professor McMarcus. Do you suffer from any of the following symptoms? Sleeplessness, high blood pressure, bleeding from the ears, a euphoric sense of belonging? If you have, you may have been exposed to The Markus Show. But don't worry, we're from the government and we're here to help. People exposed to The Markus Show may question authority. They may prioritize improving their personal lives over maintaining toxic relationships. If you or someone you know has been exposed to The Markus Show, call this number below or text NICE to 69420 and we'll send you information on how we can help.
This has been a joke. Do not call or text either of these numbers. Who knows who it could be? Oh my God, it's FedEx.
No, this has nothing.
Seriously, look, it's FedEx.
What? What is he doing?
Delivering our package.
Wait.
Control 19, this is Tower 1511 Heavy, ready for takeoff. What was that? Looked like a shoe. Control 19, some idiot has hijacked a flight of stairs. We're gonna stop this plane. 19 Control, we got it.
Solutions that bring joy, build businesses, save lives, change what's possible. This is FedEx. Where now meets next.
To the Markus, the mutant Markus Show. Good morning and salutations, my friends, and welcome to December 1st. We made it. We made it to December 1st. It's cold, but this hat isn't working with my headphones. So we'll see how long it lasts. What is up? Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, guten morgen, or guten evening, depending on what time of the guten day it is. You know what I mean? We made it once again. It's Thursday. We're past the halfway point. What is the halfway point when there's 4? You know? There's the 2 in the middle. That's not really a halfway point. You got the first, second quarter, and then you got the second half of the third. I don't know. There's no end of 2. So the end of the day of the second day is the halfway point, but then you're not live. So how do you have a halfway offline point? You know, what's the halfway point of the show? That's the real question. Is it when I, oh shit, you know what? I didn't mess with any technical stuff yesterday. I gotta get rid of the hat. Oh. Well, let me know when you guys can hear the music, huh? I mean, I guess it's just right there. I don't know. Pinch, punch, first of the month. It is that first of the month, man. December. It's crazy. Do you guys have a Thanksgiving over there, Exner? Do you have like in November? You know, it wouldn't make sense if you did, other than people love to copy the U.S. But is there like a Thanksgiving or a Thanksgiving equivalent over there? No, nothing. What's the big? Is there a big holiday in November? Yeah, we moved a bunch of stuff around yesterday. It was nice. Or yesterday afternoon. It was so nice. We got the bedroom mixed around. Every time we move around the place, it gets a little better. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Man, I just keep getting bigger and bigger into this. There we go. Yeah, so we moved around the bedroom, which was nice. And then we adjusted the furniture. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. Cause you know, when you're living tiny, which is great. There's nothing wrong with living big, but there's a lot of advantages to living tiny. The hardest part though is finding a place for everything, right? Like you live exactly within your means because you min-max your life and what you own. So ultimately, every time that we blow this place up, Lindsay has to then go back and put it all back together, man. We're basically the ultimate Humpty Dumpty in this bitch. And it's fun, though. I really do like moving around the place. I used to do it all the time before I lived in the RV. Excuse me. Before I lived in the RV, whenever I would get bored or just kind of itchy, I would mess with my house. Because there's nothing more fun than, like, getting a new layout or a new orientation to your world, man. I tell you, and it can be hard. It's a pain in the ass to move. It's a pain in the ass to clean for her. But ultimately, that reward, that sensation of accomplishment, I'm telling you, man, it's there, and it shows up really strong. You just have to be willing to put the effort through to get it done. Yeah, so we moved around. We freed up a bunch of space in the living room. I got my memorabilia stuff to my right now, and honestly, we're debating getting rid of the green screen. And doing something kind of like, so it would be kind of like this, a little, right? So like, Christmas stocking right there. Oh, because the green, you mean? Tell me what's green. That's fun. But yeah, so anyway, so we thought about, making a visual again. So when I'm talking, I kind of be like this, I guess. I don't know. There's a million different options and only one right way to do it. But yeah. So we put up some Christmas decorations. We got our new, whoa, buddy. We shattered the grand illusion. There we go. Say goodbye, green screen. Hello, reality. Hey, man, trust me. You guys don't want this reality. You prefer the illusion. Trust me. No, I'm being a piss today. I'm sorry. I'll pull it out. My head, that'd mean. Sunny. Hello, Nim. Hello, Sunny. Hello, Exner. And then everything is clean after the hard work. You get a lot of sensation or satisfaction from getting stuff done. And moving stuff is fun. The pond's still flowing. The sun's still shining. I'm still bald, man. It's just, it all works out. I'm seeing votes for no green screen. Did my t-shirt start to disappear too? Oh, that's funny. I was typing shit, but I deleted. Oh no, why'd you delete it, Exner? You're always share or free. I love green screen for 2 months of the yeah, man. I tell you, the simplicity of not using a green screen, it's something else. It not having to deal with this shit and just have a background that looks awesome. But like, also though, look how cool this looks too. I'm sitting at a desk in my office with, my little sister did all these overlays. Like, you do lose a piece, you lose a piece. And I don't know, but also it's just, I gotta keep mixing it up, man. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep doing stuff. Because if I don't, it just gets monotonous and old and boring, and then I feel like I'm not entertaining y'all. And ultimately, that's why I'm here. That's the only point. That's the only reason I stream, is I want to bring joy, and then hopefully eventually joy and entertainment, and then eventually get paid to do it. That's really there's not a deeper goal there. Like, sure, there's other projects and things that I hope to do, talk publicly, blah, 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 but that's all just a side effect. My true and ultimate goal is to show up every day that I'm supposed to be, put on a damn good fucking show, and live and provide for my family because of that. Like, through my effort, And it'll happen. It has already happened. That's the hard part, man, is it's really hard to speak to your next set of goals and also respect where you are currently, right? Because, like, I don't take for granted any of the stuff that's going on already. Like, I love you guys showing up. You guys make me feel so... I just love it. I love our friendships. Like, truly. My digital compadres, man. It means a lot. But also, you know, you gotta, if I do look at it from a business perspective, and from a business perspective, it's gotta be self-sustaining. And the only way to truly do that, in my opinion, is I gotta step my fucking game up. And it's just, you know, it's not an old expression, but you know the expression, like, I'm just so tired. Like, that's all I can say. And it's just, my brain is at 400% in terms of, like, performance. My brain wants nothing more than all of these things to happen and these things to get accomplished. And I have a constant state of goal. I have a constant state of want and desire. But then my body says, nope, you're not going to do anything at all. You're going to sit on that couch and you're going to watch YouTube and you're going to think for the next 15 hours. That's all I'm going to let you do. And my brain is like, fuck you, man. Let me go. Let me fly. I'm a goddamn peacock. And my body's like, don't care. Peacocks are weak. You have hollow bones. Stay locked up, man. And it's a weird place to be in when you want to be Elon Musk, but you have the body of, you know, Christopher Reeves. It's kind of like, you know, if you're old enough, you get the reference. He has spinal injury and was completely paralyzed. Or he had a disease. One of the two. Either way, he was Superman and then he wasn't. And then he literally was completely paralyzed. It was very sad what happened to Christopher Reeves. But it's a wild dichotomy. And the worst part is, it's like, I don't even have an excuse. Like, and I don't want an excuse, but I don't have, like, oh, I don't have legs. Or, you know, it's like, no, you're by Marcus's words, like, you're mentally weak and therefore can't do a bunch of shit. And it's like, come on, man. But you're not, though. Because my brain is there. It's the body. It's weird. It's a weird place to be. And I'm sure a big part of it is the drugs. And it's sad because I only smoke weed every now and then. It's like, it's not even a big... Like, compared to drug addicts, and compared to people... Like, when I used to be a drug addict, holy shit, man. It's crazy. Like... I do a lot of things right in my life. Like, I eat pretty well and I'm fat. Fair enough. Okay, I don't work out. It's not good enough. You can't just eat healthy. You also have to exercise. Okay, fine. Whatever. Okay? You know, it's just like, I'm not trying to be woe is me. This is how I kind of remind myself that it's not so bad, right? You start to, you speak out the things that you feel are holding you back, so that you can then fight them. You have to argue with, at least I do, right? I argue with myself because I'm a hell of a convincer. I can convince most people of most and myself of basically anything. It's a stupid place to be, man. But by putting this shit out there, it gives me the opportunity to refute it, essentially, is what I'm doing. It's just because, like, I have the most supportive family ever. I have an amazing community of online and real life friends. The only reason I don't do anything is because I choose to stay at home because I'm horribly depressed and I don't want to. That's the truth. It's not like I'm just like, no, it's fine. You know, it's just like, no, I'm not there yet, but I want to be, right? But that's still the fact. People invite me places. People, you know, I should have went and saw my cousin yesterday. So there's another apology letter I got to write. And it's just, I'm my own worst enemy. I am the fire. I am the government who is here to help. And it's killing me, man. So as for overseas holidays in November, in the end of November and Big Presents Day on the 5th of December. 6th day is... And then who's back in Spain? Dot is... And then... Okay. Not a fan of green screen. Only like it when I'm in... Only like it when in game mode for face cam. Interesting. So you like a creative background. Interesting. Same for Exner. Well, what the fuck? I've been rocking this green screen forever. You guys ever told me you didn't like it? I need to make some green screen alerts and put it away. I mean, I think we're starting to realize something here. Because between the technical problems of it, like this, it's... What if yeah. I have the body of Chris Farley and a fourth of the energy. That's because I don't know if you do cocaine, Nim. Is the big part of that. Dude, and I'll tell you, it's that type of entertainer energy. It's... I don't know where they get it. Like, how does it... Because who remembers Chris Farley's epic entrance to when he was on... He got somebody's night show. I never know the names of these people. The guy with the gap in his teeth. But anyway, when he walked into... or he entered into the show, he came from the back of the audience and was like cartwheeling and he shook somebody, and then he picked up the plant that was in the audience and ran him outside and threw him in the dumpster. Then he ran back inside and did a cartwheel and then sat down. Is it Johnny Carson? But it's like he sat down next to him just and he's still like, he could bring himself together and just be fine. And I'll tell you, man, if I exhumed that much energy, holy crap, I would have had to lay down on that show, let alone be able to hold an interview afterwards. It was very cool. And obviously I'm just kidding. I'm very proud of the green screen. I love the feedback. So don't ever be scared to tell me what's up, because it helps me make decisions. Like, I truly do like have a push and give and take. You know, as much as like I talk about my mental stuff, when the brain is working, it does work, man. And it's just, sometimes it's, you know, when I'm more in like the 200% performance mode, I do pretty good. It's when I get like 250 plus, it's too much. I just like steam starts coming out of my ears, because I can't quantify all of my thoughts into an individual, you know, focus. So I just get pulled in so many different all-consuming ways. And it honestly feels like it happens all at the same time. Like when I was in school, this was in high school, we had a psychology teacher who put us in groups of 3. And then we had to go out to these different parts of the school. And then one person would sit in the middle. And then each person on the left and the right had to read a story at the same time. And then the person had to try to remember each individual story. Well, I did pretty good on that test. It was hard as hell, though. But I just remember it was just like... But I was like, challenge fucking accepted. You told me this is hard. I'll show you how smart I am. And I just kind of sat there and I really just listened. And I tried to like take it in. When I noticed a detail, I would focus on one side. And when I noticed a detail, and then I would kind of assume the rest. And it was crazy, man. If you've never done that, if you've never really had the opportunity, just fun. It's a fun little party game. If you know 2 people in real life and you have 5 minutes, it's worth it. Just grab a couple different stories, and even stories you know, and just see how many details you can pull out individually from the 2 stories being told at the same time. It's crazy, man. David Letterman, thank you. I used to be 320 pounds, now only 200. Holy shit, Sonny. Good for you, man. That's a big deal. Oh, you still could at 200. I've been well, depends how tall you are. Because when I look pretty good at 200. I still had a little bit of the belly pooch, but I was okay at 200. I'm like 250 right now, and I'm about 55 pounds overweight. I do really, really good. Actually, I'm like 47 pounds overweight. I do great at like 202 to 206. I'm big without being scrawny. If I go much lower than like 190, I look good muscularly speaking, but I look like I'm dying. I have a big frame, and 190, 180 doesn't look good on my frame. You know, My boobs feel great at 190 though, man. I'll tell you. It the puffiness all goes away. It was good. It was good. But no, like right around 202, 203 is where I'd love to be, man. It man, it would be very cool. But honestly though, Sonny, that's amazing. That is amazing. Good for you. 120 pounds. Shit. Oh, so good. And like, that's why those are the stories I hang on to. For every million people, I can't. There's the people, yeah, you can. Look, it's proof. You can. I know what it takes for me to lose weight. I have to run and I have to exercise at least 5 days a week. If I do that, I get skinny, my muscles puff up, I just look good. And then about 6 months after I stop doing that, daily 5 days a week, I just get like this again. It sucks. It's as predictable as the sunrise. My weight fluctuation. So basically, I got to decide: do I want to be in pain from being fat, or or in pain from exercising? Because either way, I'm in pain. Honestly, the exercising is better. It's just overall better for you, better for your mental energy, better for your physical energy. And sure, as much as there's like muscular and skeletal shit that I deal with, it would make my life better if I worked out on the regular. It would. It truly would. But again, there's that block, man. I say all the right stuff up here, but then when it comes to doing it, I'm like 50-50. Are you going to choose what's good for you or not? But the event turned controversial and racist, so that's why I deleted stuff. Oh, no. Rensky's coming out swinging, dropping some racist stuff. I hope I didn't miss something. No, in the end of November and Big President's Day on the 5th December, 6 days. That's a big struggle indeed, but the event turned controversial. Oh. No, the same was for... Okay. Sorry, actually. I just want to make sure I didn't miss something. Sorry, I'm kind of going heavy today. But if I did booger sugar... Yeah, dude. It's... Yeah. You know, you're popping Ritalin on, you know, off of your wife's hand, because I'm going to be respectful when making jokes about people's wives. But if you're doing a line of coke off of your wife's hand, I mean, you got a lot of time. You got a lot of time and energy, man. I'll tell you. Because when I was young, I did Adderall one time. I didn't have ADD as far as I know. But I got everything done. In that 24, it wasn't 24. I had probably like 12-hour time span. I got everything done. Every person that I said I'd ever call, I did. Hey man, sorry it's been 16 years. I meant to call you back, right? And I cleaned the whole house twice. I did everything. I wouldn't recommend it because while I was sweating, holy shit, I was sweating my balls off, and I just was like, whoo! I can see the colors of the wind, and like I was going, man. I was like hallucinating nothing, but I was ready to climb the tallest oak in the deepest forest. I would and could do anything that I had ever wanted to do. And that's why a lot of people in college pop that shit for like studying and stuff. Because people study, man. That's crazy. Did anybody else not really have to study in school, and they just kind of showed up and passed and never had to study and only kind of did homework? Is that anybody else? I'm 6'3" and 300. Oh, I'd be looking up at Nim, seeing all those nose hairs. I'm about 80 pounds too heavy. Yeah, man, because like 6'3", 220, that's like you're a dude, right? Much smaller than that, you'd start to look like Story. So if you're here, you know I love you, but there is a ratio of like, so that you can be athletic at your height, you can just be healthy at your height, or you can be overweight, right? There's a world of in the middle. And in the world of in the middle, where you're not trying to be a bodybuilder, but you also want to be healthy, you kind of get like a little bit of a plus or minus to your own personal situation. Technically, per the books, I should be like 185. And it's like, 185? You can see my ribs at 185. What do you mean? I'm so skinny at 185. It doesn't, Like, I look unhealthy at that weight. I was there after boot camp. Fucking cheeks were sucked in. It was bad, man. I could run really far, don't get me wrong. But, like, from a health perspective, I didn't look healthy, you could say. And then after I got out of basic training and I gained about 15 pounds back, I was right in between, like, 193 and 206 for, like, a couple years. And I looked really good, man. But according to the charts, I was fat at 200. It's like, fine, I'm fat at 200. Look at me. I almost have an ab. There's literally one right here. Come on. And like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. PMI is not true anymore is a white man invention. It's not right. Well, I don't think it's not right because it was a white man invention. Weird thing to point out, but it was based off of the science at the time. We can't hold past scientists to today's knowledge and standards because today's knowledge and standards are derived from their initial effort. It's the arrogance of the young that think that because we know something now, people should have known something then. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I guess, for instance, well, it's about being healthy is the thing. And I don't blame you because as a big person, but I've also know the medical sides of it. There is direct correlation between the size of your waist and heart and cardiac problems. It has been proven time and time and time and time again. So there is no world where being overweight is healthy. There's no such thing as like fit fat. That's not true. It's a complete and total misnomer. Now, does that mean that you have to have muscles and be athletic? No. You need to be physically capable of doing certain things to keep your heart and body healthy. And we are meant to have fat on our body, but there is too much. Too much of a good thing is truly bad. And I'm not attacking you, Exner. I've had this talk too, so I know I'm with you. It's not just, hey, you're fat. There's more to it. There's more to it. But one thing that a lot of people don't want to admit, though, is like, yes, but also being fat sucks. It is hard to be big. It's hard to be a big person. It is not an easier life, and it's a lot harder to be skinny than it used to be. You know, you got to think people back in the day, just regular life was exercise. You had to go get firewood. You had to walk. Most likely you had to walk to the store to bring your groceries back. Like most likely you weren't going from like air-conditioned room to air-conditioned room from a car. Like we were much more physical humans back in the day before modern niceties allowed people to not really have to leave their home or go into society. And then also when you look at the food we eat now, it's so far from natural. Even if you're eating like healthy, produced food, it's still produced. It is still, it's not the same. The food we eat now is so different than even 40 years ago. Like one generation removed. The amount of artificial food that we put in our body is crazy. And it really is. Don't get soap in your eye, Exner. Don't get soap in your eye. That's the most important thing. But it's like, truly, the food we're putting in our bodies is poisonous now compared to what it was. Anything with high fructose, anything, is tumors, man. I'm telling you. Like, as much as our bodies adapt to eat that stuff, we're not supposed to. We are not, like, think about even just a glass of orange juice is what? At least 3 oranges? 2 to 3 oranges? And you know what that is? It is sugar. That is a cup of sugar. You have just taken 3 oranges worth of sugar straight to your body. Now, sure, is orange juice better than Kool-Aid? Sure. Kinda. It's still just sugar water. And and people all day up and down, I would swear to you, hey, is orange juice healthy? Well, yeah. Yeah, it's good for you. Is it? Yeah. And how about cranberry juice? Is that good for you? Well, yeah, it's cranberries. You know? It's like, no, it's not. That's actually bad for you. It has nutrients, but it's also sugar. It's slightly nutritional sugar. And that's the shitty part about truly eating healthy. It's like, it's none of the good food. None of the good food is good for us. Anything that tastes good It's because it's been concentrated from its unnatural state. Like lettuce is bullshit because it's empty. It's full of nothing. And we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to eat this tasteless crap. But you know what does taste good? When you take a whole bunch of vegetables and a whole bunch of fruit that has sugar in it, you blend it up into a concentrated cup that's this big, and then all of a sudden it's tasty and good. It's not good for you anymore, though. Or you take that same salad, put 2 gallons of ranch dressing on it. I'm not fat shaming anybody. I'm just saying it sucks to be skinny. It's hard, man. It's really hard. Eating natural is the best thing you could ever do. But then, as Lindsay's learning, because we're teaching her how to cook, if you want to eat right, you cook basically all day. You cook your breakfast, which takes about an hour. You wait a couple hours, and then you cook your lunch, and that takes a couple hours. And then after you eat your lunch, you do fuck around for a little bit more. And then if you're making your food, eating your food, you got to cook dinner for a couple hours. So at a bare minimum, you're looking like 3 to 6 hours of cooking every single day. And you're only awake for what, 15 of those hours? So out of the 15 hours we're awake, you're cooking for 6 of them. You're going to be skinnier. I promise you're going to be skinnier if you have to cook all your own foods. But the moment any of these convenience things comes in, man, any of these pre-made, pre-packaged, pre-processed, anytime that shit comes into your life, that convenience has a cost, and it's these big-ass titties. That is the cost. And then you work a 9 to 5, and you're probably eating out or bringing your convenient lunch with you. Man, it's truly a process of convenience, and it sucks. It makes it hard. It doesn't make it right. It's not an excuse to be overweight. I want to be skinnier than I am. I don't look down on people who are not. Be big. You can be big, baby. I don't care. Live your life. Be happy living it. That's what I really, and I'm not saying fat, like, you know, just don't be insulted. That's all let me talk without being insulted. If I see a big old fatty, and they're happy, who cares? The only time your weight matters is when you are using it as a weapon to, like, justify some shit. It's like, I don't want to hear it. You can live your life happy. I don't care how much you eat. I don't care how much you do. I don't think I think no less of you because you're big or small. Now, where I start to care is, what do you want from yourself? Are you happy or unhappy? If you're unhappy with your weight, let's do something about it. Now, I wish I could take my own fucking advice, but if I had the option, I would want to be able to help someone obtain their goals, because ultimately you want them to be happy. That's the goal. That's the that's the objective. And feeling bad about yourself because we live in a sugar-filled fucking commercial apocalypse of convenience and disgusting food, it's hard to not obsess about our weights and the things that ultimately, as much as they're a constant fight for your whole life, I don't know, same as pooping. Like, you have to poop until you die. From the day you're born till the day you die, you will poop every fucking day. When you get a little older, maybe less, right? Maybe once every other. But even then, that's its own problem, man. I love drinking water, though. I would drink water. Drinking water is like grabbing a boob. If I could do that every day, I'm living a good day. Or living a good life. Right? But ultimately, now I can't. Now I'm thinking about boobs again. I forgot what I was saying. Complete and total blank. Because ultimately the point is, man, like, if you don't like something about yourself, take a moment to evaluate why. And then based off of the reason why, just make a decision about your own individual life that helps you be better than you were before you had the revelation. You know, like, a big reason why I know my weight is an important topic for me is because I just think about it a lot. I grab my stomach and I'm just like, ugh. You know, and like I just feel myself getting flabby and I'm like, ugh. You know, and because I think about it a lot, I apply mental energy to it to try to get me to be motivated. So then, you know, maybe yesterday I didn't, but today I'll go out and sit on the bike for 10 minutes, right? Because I want to change that part of my life. So I put energy towards trying to make it better. And then hopefully through effort, an intentional effort, I will. But ultimately making excuses because, you know, XYZ purple, that's the part where it's like, well, you're only hurting yourself ultimately, right? I absolutely thought about boobs and lost my train of thought. I'm not kidding him. I was on a roll, dude. And then I saw something that made me think of boobs. And now there it goes again. There it goes again. One thing that's, I guess, the way I would wrap up the whole topic up about weight, especially with like right now, because it is such a time of making sure that we don't offend people. And by not offending people, I would say we're actually just deciding to be rude to them, right? We've decided that people are no longer worth our time, and therefore we won't say anything to make them feel uncomfortable or hurt. And I just can't think of anything more rude than to know that somebody wishes their life was a different way, and you more or less just going along with the life they don't want. Like, that's what you do for strangers. That's what you do for people you don't know. So just always kind of remember, if you know something about somebody, maybe poke them in the ribs every now and then and give them a little reminder. Exner's back. Did you get soap in your eye? But no, you know, because it's this train of thought, it goes further than just like insert anything, right? Like weight or going to work or starting a business or being a better lover, being a better husband or wife. Like ultimately, if there is a place where you hope to improve, if there's a place where you hope to improve, you know, you definitely need to be a little uncomfortable. That's the hardest part. If you, like for me, right? Like a big place that I want to improve is in my plosives. No, is in socializing, like going back into society again. Like that's a place I really want to improve in my life. Because I just used to, I was not a prisoner of my own design, right? Like I was not my own warden. I really like to do things. I really like to go out and like have fun and see people in real life. And, you know, and so, shit. Lost it again. Who's talking about boobs? Oh, it was the feet. Thanks, Exner. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding. Wet feet, oh no, put your socks on, Exner. We protected the eyes and we sacrificed the toes. I hate to see it. You hate to see it. Crap. And then I said boobs and feet in the same sentence. Did you guys know? So I just found out about something. So there, I'm sure one of you might be able to tell me. So there was this guy in Disney. I want to say Bob Chap. No, that's the CEO. Some guy, and is a very prominent person. As soon as I knew the name, as soon as the name is said, y'all like, oh. But anyway, so apparently all of this recent stuff, or this stuff has come out in the last, like, let's say 5 years or so, where supposedly this dude went around and he would pay the young actresses to take pictures of their feet. Okay, and like this is Hollywood, so take it with a grain of salt for a little bit. But okay, so weirdness being weird. But then I found out, so somebody has gone through the effort of actually showing like this guy's body of work with Disney and how there's all of these like foot fetish scenes in them. Now, when you don't look at them through that lens, you wouldn't really think too much of it. But like after this shit came out, oh, what is his name? I'm not trying to protect him. I just can't remember his name. But ultimately, it's like, holy shit, that's absolutely true. David something. I don't remember what it is. But ultimately, like, and I'm not, whatever. I don't know. Clearly, I did not research. So I'm not out here to pass judgment in either direction. I don't know enough to form an opinion. But one thing I can tell you is, how crazy is it becoming an adult and hearing about the scandals of when you were a kid? So like when you were too young to understand that like an actress sucking a toe on the Disney Channel made for TV movie is like inappropriate because as an adult it's something more, like because we're supposed to protect kids, you don't sexualize them, you don't expose them to these adult themes until they're old enough, because God forbid you let a kid have a childhood, right? But ultimately as a kid you don't get it. You're like, well, you know, that's silly. Why is he sucking on the toes? You know, you don't think of it like, oh, feet. It's kind of like it's the kid thing. But then as an adult, it's like, honey, are you, she's sucking that toe. Do we stop it? What, do we just, they don't know, right? Okay, fuck it. What are you doing later, by the way? No, you know, but like, seriously, that's the difference. But one thing that's weird now is because less children are protected from the adult topics as they are, even if the parents are trying, they still have access to the tick. They still have access to, you know, all the different stuff. And they're going to get exposed even more to the sexuality of adulthood. Now, you can't be as subtle in these movies anymore because kids are like, they're plugged in. They understand what like a subtle wink about, oh, I didn't sleep at all last night. You know, and now the 4-year-old's like, mommy, they were banging. It's like, whoa, who taught you that word? You did, mommy. And we're on TikTok, remember? Oh, yeah. Well, act like you just said it naturally. I want to get the right filter on it. It's fucking these people and their kids, dude. I'll tell you. It's why. Dan Schneider. That's the one. So, yeah, man. Dan Schneider had a thing for feet. And it was supposedly like in so much of his bodies of work. And that's crazy. It's Hollywood. That's some crazy. Hollywood can't get away with as much of that weird shit as they used to. Huh. And it makes you wonder. Now I'm just thinking out loud. It makes you wonder though, is that part of why it was so much better? Like, I know that's fucking awful to say, but just from like we're putting together points here. You know, during the golden era of cocaine and sex parties and horrible atrocities that people in Hollywood were doing behind closed doors, they knocked out some bangers. And then in modern day transparency, where there's a lot less ambiguity, and you have to always mind your P's and Q's 24/7 off and online. You're never allowed to be a private person. You're not allowed to have a private life. Has that now led to why Hollywood kind of sucks ass? Because there's no more... There's no like sense of being an elite anymore because you're beholden to the laws of the commoner. As much as like I'm not supporting these people, like you don't fuck with kids, you don't do this horrible shit. But I'm just doing a thought experiment, man. What is right? Like these Hollywood actors, and they all thought they were gods. They were better than, or maybe it's even more prevalent now, and that's why it's such a big deal. Because actors and actresses back in the day, maybe they didn't have such an ego because they didn't have the social media, because they did have privacy. So the only places that these people were allowed to be famous was actually on the movie set. So because they could only be famous on the movie set, they had to show up way freaking harder than they do now, because now they can just be famous every minute of every second of every day. They can be famous from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep because they have Twitter and et cetera, you know, constant news. So now these people's egos are like, right? So now they don't think that they have to go to the sex parties. And like, because of that arrogance, they're not humble. And like, without the sex parties to humble it up, they don't really care to act like, I don't know. I mean, You don't fuck with kids. That is a rule that has always and forever been the truth. But really take away, when you're talking about big topics like this, you can't apply as much of the morality that you want to the conversation, because you lose the ability to look at it from an analytical standpoint if you allow your individual notions of morality dictate too much of the conversation. You don't get rid of them, but you also need to try your best to look at it from an analytical point first, then apply the morals of your individual experience. Because you won't really ever make any progress in the topic if you don't make sure that you haven't, or that if you don't make sure that you took the time to break it down into its individual parts. You know? Like Lindsay said, secrets keep entertainment moving, because it makes it more than it is. Like, what is a movie? It's a grand illusion. It's a giant lie. It's a fabricated world of falsities. Excuse me. Right? But because of that, like, that aura that surrounded how that illusion was made and how now it's kind of all been shattered. Like, what's the next era of transparent media gonna look like, you know? Because we saw what sex party, horrible, fucked up stuff Hollywood produced. Now we've seen, like, the transition post-Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, even though he still didn't get prosecuted. You know, like, post all of this, hey, look at all this fucked up stuff. Like, the Feldmans, no one cared when they were tossed around like sex dolls. Corey Feldman, his brother, the abuse for them was unbelievable, right? But like, that was back in the day abuse. Now it's different, man. Like, it's crazy. All of it's crazy. Because it's ultimately all kind of bad, and also it's not our lives either. Even sucking ass is normal now. It's true, man. It's like there's no taboo anymore. Like, do you remember Fear Factor? When the idea of eating a testicle was like, oh my, bleh. You know, and only real Chads knew where to go to get deep fried testicles because they're delicious if done correctly. But now it's just like, what do you do to shock people anymore? Literally physically assault them. You throw stuff at them. That's how you shock the world now. And I hate that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. You know, like, I used to be controversial and shocking just because I would say that, you know, like, yeah, man, I'd suck a toe. And people are like, I gotcha. Just kidding. But it's now I can't even shock people anymore. I gotta say the most off-the-wall stuff to even get a reaction. I don't want to do that. Because there should be taboos. Taboos are what make doing taboos fun. If everybody's licking booty cheeks, I mean, if anything, you're only doing it because you don't want to be left out. That's crazy. No, you need to have individual, like, comfort zones that... People need to chill the fuck out, man. Like, it just, you know, you shouldn't be so comfortable showing your butthole to people. It's like, it's because it's so, there's obviously decency. That's a big part of it. You need to be decent, and you know, but it seems to me not too long ago, there was a understood kind of societal contract that the grand majority of people adhered to, and they were never once in their whole life told that it existed, but they've always known how to participate. And within the last handful of years, basically post-COVID, it's almost as if we have completely and totally forgotten what it means to live in a civilized society. It's as if COVID put us into the internet, which the internet and us was not ready for. we ruminated in that war, that mental cage for 2 years, and we've been trying to recover since then. And now it's this weird shift between the people who got pushed into acting a certain way, and now no one can go back. And it's like, it just feels like two minds or two trains of thought just bumping against each other. And because of that, nobody knows what to do anymore. But that's being said by a man who almost never leaves his house. Now, granted, whenever I do leave my house, I'm reminded, but I try to go with a positive outlook. You know, I don't go out expecting to be shitty. But sometimes, man, it just can't help it. I used to talk to people so much. Like I used to meet people all the time. And now when I ask questions, it's like everyone's so defensive all of a sudden. Like they don't want to tell me about their lives. It's like, why? No one cared before. I don't know. It's hypercharged, man. And I'm included in that statement. I'm hypercharged. And it's like, how do we I don't like the idea of how do we go back, you know? Because the idea of going back is defeated. I believe that the idea of like, oh, everything will go back to normal. Because I think that's a disservice to the progress of time. You don't really get to go back. You get to learn from it. You get to try to replicate it, but you don't go back. You know, there's a really famous quote that, well, I guess really famous because I like it so much. But in The Office, Andy, at the end of the episode, at the end of the show, they're like, basically, what did you think about it? He's like, well, you know what's the worst part about the good old days is you don't realize you're in them until it's over. And ain't that just so true? Like we've kind of had this talk before on the show, but we're a very nostalgic species. You know, we very much enjoy reminiscing about the good times, which is ironic because why don't we actively appreciate the current times? It'd be a lot more fulfilling, I would imagine, than realizing like, oh man, if only I would have stayed happy. You know, if only I would have kept doing the thing that that made me happy at the time. But no, I wanted more. I wanted more than what I previously offered, or what I previously had. And then you realize, well, maybe life isn't as good on this side of the boat. But I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I completely disagree, man. I completely disagree. You're supposed to get tired of where you are. You're supposed to get bored. You're supposed to get dissatisfied with the normal. Because the normal it never stays the same. The world keeps turning. The world will always turn. The future is unstoppable, man. And you just have to embrace the new while appreciating the old. We had a guy on our bowling team, Dim, that every game night would talk about this love for eating butts. Every game night? None of us wanted to hear it, but he just kept talking. I miss you don't kiss until... Yeah. Like, because... I'll make it short and simple for that one, Nim. Because the reason I feel is better is because how much more mystery and kind of like taboo were those topics back then? Like, the don't ask, don't tell, the don't kiss and tell. That was like, oh, come on, man. Like, I want to know. It's like, no. It's, I'm a gentleman. I don't kiss and tell kind of thing. And it's like, because that was the exchange and there was less details, it made that matter more to both people. It mattered more to the person who ate the booty, and it mattered more to the person who didn't get to hear the details about the booty. And it truly, I believe, made each person better because of it. You edge information, you edge stories, and you do it because not everything is meant to be shared. There are things that are so precious and so important that they deserve to be private. Eating booty is one of those. Like, I'll make a joke, but there's, one, know your crowd. I wouldn't, outside of my stream, like if I was actually hanging out with Nim in person, I probably would talk about booty way less than I do on stream. A little, but once we got it out of the way, we'd move on from the booty talk. But ultimately, know your audience, care enough to shut up and not talk about things that people don't want to hear. And then also, my music stopped playing. But because we withhold, things feel better. Period. The topics, the information, if you withhold it, people want to know more. It creates mystery, it creates intrigue, it creates, it makes it matter. Having things private, having things personal, having things that are unique and individual, unique and individual to you and only a handful of people, it gives it value. And you have value. Your life experience have value. So beyond the individual state, there's the blown out state, right? It's not only do you have value as an individual, the act of making love is a very precious and special thing that should be experienced between the individuals who did it. Sure, there's bragioso stuff. If you're a dude, it's yeah, man, I hooked up. Woo! But you don't go too much into it. And I've been in those bro Chad groups, and I've been there. We talked about sexual, prowess, but it was never kosher. It was never okay to be intimately gross about it. There was always the one guy who thought it was funny to talk about what he did specifically to a specific girl. I never was into it. Hey, cool, good for you, brother. Yeah, me too, but I don't need to brag about it, right? Because that bugged me. I felt like this isn't to be shared. This is for you and her. And even if it was a hookup, even if it was a one-time thing, that's awesome for you two. Respect what happened and make it matter by not pretending like it's as normal as blowing your nose. You make it special by making it special. If you make it every day, if you make it monotonous, if you make it not have meaning, not have value, it won't. And things deserve to have value and meaning. They really do. Woo! Some listen to respond. We need to listen to understand. Oh, Sonny. I say that quite a bit. You're just waiting for your turn to talk, right? It's you don't even know what I just said because I watched when your brain turned off because you didn't want to lose your point, okay? You shouldn't even be making a point until you hear at least what mine is. Now, granted, as a talker, I got to know when to pull back, but ultimately, you got to listen to people. You got to be willing to have a long conversation with somebody and not just wait for your turn to talk. That's not communicating. That's really, really lame talking at each other. When people write me about a situation, I take a day or two to process before I respond. Some people hate the wait, but I want to form an intelligent, respectful response. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because ultimately, your words hold value, man. If I asked Nim something and he told me his opinion, I would respect it. I would listen to it. I would weigh it based off of my own personal experiences, etc. But ultimately, I would apply the weight of respect that I have for Nim to his words. So knowing that he takes the time, who am I to get mad? Now, if it was time sensitive, that's different, but most of the time it's not. People think it's just an emergency because they got nothing else going on in their life. Oh man, what do you mean? I gotta wait an hour for you to respond? It's bitch, if I even pick up my phone in 2 days, you'll be lucky. I left my phone in my car for 3 days after Thanksgiving. Or whatever. I just was whatever. Who needs a phone? Not me, man. And I don't know. I really try to take a person's, I just try to believe everybody. And that's why I get so pissed when I feel like I'm being lied to. That has nothing really to do with what we're doing. It just it made me think of that. It's I put a lot of time and effort into my words, and therefore they mean something. So if somebody's going to say something or tell me something, I just automatically assume the same from them. And you can call that unfair if you want. But ultimately, I don't know. I give you this level of respect. Well, because ultimately, anybody I'm talking to, they might need water. Birds not even birds, might need water. I see more chicken breasts out there. What the fuck? I lost her. I lost it. So, and that's funny. So, wife and Nim, you both brought up such a good point. So, Lindsay said, I need time to process before responding. And then Nimmers was talking about how he likes to take time to process. So, I'm one of those people who doesn't take time, right? Like, my thoughts come very quick. My opinions come very quick. And I don't mean like, hey, look how smart I am. I mean, like, that's just my life. That's how my brain forms thoughts. I have had to learn to slow down and allow people time to talk or to think, because it's unfair of me to hold them hold them hostage to my cadence of communication. Just because I can fucking and go and like, all right, I hear what you say, and let me repeat what you said, and then let me give you an opinion on what I heard you say. Just because I do that doesn't mean that I like, hey, bitch, come on, speed it up. Speed it up. I'm ready to talk. No. You give people time to formulate. Now, say, for example, I didn't know this about Nim, and I like sent him something. We were talking, all of a sudden, I'm like, Nimmers, you there? His best response, sorry, man. Just to let you know, it's pretty typical. Sometimes I take a while to respond, so just know this is normal. And then I go, of course, man. I look forward to your response. And then now the rules have been established for Nimmers and I, and we just do our best to provide a as predictable as possible experience for each other. If that doesn't work, we say no big frickin' deal, because ultimately at the core, we love each other, right? Like, there's a respect and a mutual understanding that in spite of our differences, we get along. So if I'm a fast talker and he's a slow talker, we'll meet in the middle somewhere around medium. You know? Mac Daddy! What's up, dude? Careful. It's a major award. Okay? It's this thing right. Ooh. Ding. Right? That is a beautiful major award. The Buppuses dogs are not getting to this lamp. I'll tell you that. He's thinking about boobs again. It gets me every time, Nim. See, and I don't appreciate the come off as a dick thing. I think because of text messages and the internet, people have gotten a false expectation on how available someone should be. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that people expect to have unfettered access to a person just because they know their cell phone number or they know their Discord or whatever. It's like, man. Like, I don't look at my phone very often. When I look at it in bursts, like really short bursts, right? And it's just, I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a phone guy. I don't like being on the phone. But it's crazy to me that sometimes I'll come back and be like, this was way before. But now, because I've kind of burned all my bridges and don't have anybody who calls me anymore because I disappeared off the face of the earth for 2 fucking years. Excuse me. I digress. I got to remind myself that it's me why I'm alone, and it's not the rest of the world, because there are plenty of people who would wish that I would show up, but I just stopped. I couldn't show up for a while. I'm ready to show up again. I just got to figure out how to do it. But ultimately, I muted the music somehow. I don't know. I have a leg lamp and it sits in my living room window. IRL. It's fragile. We do too. We haven't pulled it out yet. But no, it is out. Yeah, I can see it right there. I was given a leg. It's not full size, so it's, I don't know. It's probably this, about a little bit bigger than my head. right? A little bit bigger in my head in terms of size. I love it, dude. That is A Christmas Story is one of my favorite all-time movies. I used to watch, when I had cable, I used to watch A Christmas Story Marathon on TBS every year. You have to watch. I mean, shoot. By the time the marathon was over, I probably watched the movie a total of like 10 times. It is wild how much I've watched that movie. And I highly recommend it to anybody who has not seen it, because it is one of the best Christmas movies ever that has ever been made. I've just on lunch. Oh, how's work? How's work, Mackers? Is it like one of those bittersweet things, man? Where like you're happy you're working, but also like you're working that job that kind of jerks you around like a yo-yo on a string. What's for lunch? Yo, what's up, vlogger? Always love when you come in. Don't even get me started with Discord DMs. Oh man, you know if you're a disappear, because that's what I am. I'm a person that when it's time for Marcus to get his life right, he just leaves. He goes away. I'm gone, man, and it's different because now I'm married. I guess I have been married for a while now, but okay, we good, Exner? Okay. Yeah, I see it. I see it right there. Okay. Excuse me. Ooh, that was heartburn. Oh, sorry, one sec. Oh. Oh, you guys want to look at this real quick? Hold on. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? There she is. She's giving the birds some water. Oh, isn't she just the best person in the world, y'all? I don't deserve her. Oh my God, it's FedEx.
No.
Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, Nim, I do. Is your leg a lefty or a righty? Gotta run back to work. Take care of y'all, Mackers. Love your face, man. Love your face. Love your soul. Love your energy. You genuinely made me blush yesterday. When you said all those nice things about me. If you guys haven't, check out Mac. He's like a well-adjusted version of Marcus, man. He really is. Come to find out, he's not short at all. He actually is very tall. And I never knew. I never would have known. I thought the big Mac Daddy was like ironic. I think he's actually taller than me, if I remember right. But, yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Mac, he's awesome. He plays video games a lot more than me, and it's just fun. He keeps a good energy about him. Almost never does he, well, I was going to say yell and rant, but he does, but it's always a lot more positive, you know. Oh, jeez. How's it going, you guys? Oh, man. Because let me tell you, I don't know what it is. Lindsay even said it today. You guys always have a way of making me feel a little better. You do. I love talking. It is crazy how therapeutic talking is to me. You would think at some point I would run out of stuff to say. You do. But you know what's wild that you guys need to think about? This is the filtered talking. This is the stuff that I don't want to look stupid saying. This is the stuff where I don't want to if I accidentally offend somebody or we are on if this is an iceberg, not only would I sink the Titanic, I would have held it underwater, and not even the Mary Brown would have got off of that damn ship, okay? Like, it's interesting. And there should be that way. Like, I should only be venting off the top of the Marcus for the public consumption. And I love that, Sonny. But ultimately, we should respect ourselves. It's perfectly ties back in before. We should respect ourselves, and we should respect culture enough to not just put all of our shit on the table, from licking booty to some like interpersonal demons that we're fighting with. Sometimes you just got to say, I'm all right. I'm working on some stuff, but ultimately I'm happy to be here, and I'm privileged to not be dead, right? But you don't I guess ultimately we all have our demons. We all have our demons that we have to deal with every day. Some are more than others, some are less than others. But ultimately, we have this amazing opportunity to live happily, right? Like, or to live, just to be alive. And we should always make sure that the majority of our life was spent decent. And the easiest way to think that you've lived a decent life up to this point is to just try to focus on, like, essentially, I want to say this right because it matters. In a world of misery where everybody has something that's like a negative, try to be the person that talks about the positive, that thinks about the solutions, and doesn't focus on only the problems. Because I can swear to you guys, if you take just those simple steps, there will be a change in your mindset. There will. These are steps that I've taken to pull myself out of depression, to pull myself out of anxiety. And as much as I still fight the train, man, if where I was a 1, I'm now at like a 7. That is a 7x improvement. That's a lot. You don't need to be at a 10 to be okay. 10s don't exist. Well, maybe. But you get my point, though. Your life will never be perfect. You simply need to be working on having a perfect life and not stressing too much about if it's not. And the only way to do that is just take it one day at a time, because then eventually you can take it a week at a time, and then a month at a time, and then before you know it, you're happy way more than you're not, and your depression is simply a story that you have learned from, grown from, and become better because of. Donk agrees, Lindsay. I gotta take a break here in a second. I need to do gross stuff. It's getting hard to talk. Same for me. I like listening to you, Exner. You make me so happy. You truly do. Because ultimately, I know, you're just, I don't know, you're one of the good ones. That's the easiest way to say it. Because ultimately, and I'm not, because and here's a great example, right? A lot of other people, when you said the white thing with the BMI, and I said my thing to that thing, ultimately, nothing happened, right? As it shouldn't have. You said something, I said something in response. Both were respectful, and it's all Gucci. That is what humanity is. That is what culture is. That is what society is. It is people with differing views who, in spite of all of that, in spite of their differences, understands that the path to a good culture, a good friendship, a good relationship is being okay with our differences and respecting and caring for each other in spite of them. It is not that hard. It's truly not that hard, okay? The problem is when you try to use those controversial things for clout. That's what's messing everybody up, is some of the angriest people on the internet. Trust me, I know. I'm on the internet. And it has turned into like a job qualification. Like, how can you be negative? How can you be pessimistic? How can you find the bad parts of the world? Like, what? What the what? What do you mean? Why would you be actively searching for hate? Why would you be actively searching for misery? That's crazy. All you're doing is bringing it to light. You're bringing it to the surface when we've worked forever to bury it. And I mean bury it because it's dead, not because we're ashamed. Bury it because why would you keep bringing up atrocities that happened not to you? It's just, we got to elevate our thinking. We cannot just try to gain power and notoriety through negativity. It is ridiculous, the concept that people get paid simply because they spend their whole life, every waking moment, hating Elon Musk. There are entire careers that have been formed by disliking a person. Crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. So, I don't know. That's the stuff that drives me crazy. It's that weird allocation of power, of hate and like rage-fueled power. Why would somebody who has no solutions be heralded as like the leader of a group? And I'm just talking about, like, just think of actresses, whatever, people that are getting paid to be negative bastards. How can you live that way, man? How can you live that way going through your life just trying to spread misery with no solutions offered? It just sucks. Sucks. Sucks, and I don't like it. And I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm honest. I truly am trying to just be kind of informative, I guess. Is because what the whole point of what I'm talking about and what I'm expressing is it basically comes down to this. If you meet bastards, just don't play the game. Don't encourage. Don't discourage. Just let them evaporate into obscurity. Because ultimately, the only reason why these negative mother bitches, man, like get power at all is because people pay attention to them. And to Sonny's point, we're from the internet. We are here to troll you. That's what it used to be. And I miss that internet. I miss an internet where you can use bad words and not lose your career. I like the internet where you couldn't make a career off of doing dick all. Like, you couldn't do nothing other than be an asshole and make a career out of it. I miss that internet. There's nothing wrong with trolling. Like, when everybody, what was the one? The whole internet basically convinced the world that a celebrity was dead. And they were like, I'm not dead. Like, there was like giant fucking funerals held for this guy. And I don't remember who it was. But it literally came out like, you guys, I didn't die. I didn't die. I'm still alive. And it just was old internet memes. It was hilarious to me. And because if you couldn't take it, you weren't on the internet. If you couldn't take the bad words, if you couldn't take the meanness, the trollness, like, if you couldn't take the joke, couldn't be on the internet, period. It just, there wasn't a place for you on the internet because you couldn't take it. It'd be like, you don't join an MMA tournament if you can't fight MMA. So that's what the internet was. And then what the internet has turned into is just this giant cloud of fart that nobody can handle smelling. And because of that, they just keep lighting scented candles, and it's so bright that it's fucking loud and hot that it set off the fire alarm and everyone's screaming. That's what the internet's turned into now. And it's just like all the original internet people are just sitting there going, what the fuck? Why is everybody so offended? This is the internet. This is the internet. Like Dr. Disrespect got banned for 7 days for calling somebody a pussy on Call of Duty. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's crazy. No, I wanted to read something from Sunny. This is the most I've talked in a long time. Actually, since I started coming here. Sunny, I'm glad we tickled your topics enough until we finally got you to come out of one. And I love it. I love it. Because we love our lurkers, we love our talkers. Woo! We're from the internet. Oh, wait. Laserbeam didn't die. Yep, Laserbeam, he was accused of dying. I like Bodie McBoatface. So I like, one of my old favorites from the internet is, so here's a great example. Here's a great example of old internet that would never, ever, ever work anymore. So back in the day, there was this guy. He had a black hoodie on and wore glasses. And he got, I think, like 5 times, maybe like 5 times. He got interviewed by a news station on the street. He wasn't there. He had absolutely nothing to do what the news was there for. And so he's like, sir, could you please tell us what you saw? Right? So he'd be in his hood, he'd be in his glasses, and be like, well, you know, it was pretty crazy. I was standing here on the side of the street, and then I heard these people going, and then before you know it, I turned around, and then I fucked her in the pussy. And that was on live TV. This dude, and the person be like, whoa, like you can't say that, but it's live, bitch. You can't do nothing about it. He already said it. So not only did this guy do it one time, not only did he get to do it a second time, he did it, at least from what I remember, 3 times, and then I remember there being like at least a couple of copycats. So essentially, just a bunch of young people on the internet having fun, saying an inappropriate word on a live news station. And guess what? Nobody died. There was no uproar. There was no call to arms with pitchforks and torches because somebody dared to have the audacity to say the word pussy. It's too much, man. That's too soft. We as a species cannot survive if saying something like the word pussy is too much for us. I don't agree. It's too much, man. That is too soft. That is too soft. You guys know me. I love respect. I will absolutely, you don't be an asshole to people, but talking shit or making people uncomfortable, that is not being a bad person. Making somebody feel a little weird or awkward is not assault. It's not. Get the fuck over it, man. You are not a piece of parchment paper, right? You're not tracing paper. You can take it. You can handle words. I promise you can handle words. I know nobody else is telling you this. Nobody else is telling you that you're capable and you're strong and you're I don't want to say capable again. Damn it, I can't think of another one. You're resilient. You can handle it. Thank you, wife. You really can. Nobody else will tell you can. That's why you come to the Markus Show. Because I am so sick of all these assholes telling people they don't know that they're too dumb and they need help. They're too ugly and they need to be apologized to. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. It's ridiculous, man. You can't handle it. You're too mentally weak, so people have to walk on eggshells around you. That is the worst message you could ever give to anyone. And they are giving it on a global societal level. It's a damn disservice to people. I can never picture a world where I think so little of my fellow human beings that I try to convince them that they're a victim when they don't feel like one. It's awful. People should feel ashamed of themselves, man, for trying to neuter so many people and try to tell them that they're not capable and fucking real. Because I don't need I don't need to gain my power through my subjects. You know what I mean? I don't need to be elevated in my stature because a bunch of people look up to me and say, Marcus, without you, I couldn't have done it. Get fucked. Yes, you could. Stand up. What do you mean you couldn't have done it without me? You just didn't have anybody to tell you the right words. All this shit was inside you from the very beginning. You just been told the opposite your whole life. You've been told that you're dumb or too fat or too unhealthy. There's no way. Just a bunch of no's. And I disagree, man. Take your nose and shove 'em fucking up your ass and smell the poop. That's what I got to tell you right there. These naysayers, man. The can't doers, the too harders, the impossible Doritos. I don't agree. I don't agree with any of it, even a little. Stay out of the chickens.
Where the chickens at?
They're at chickensonly.com.
You don't have to be lonely at
Chickens.
only.com. We're not gonna stress, not gonna make a mess. Oh, no, I wanna be less than I can be. I want it all to wash me. The wicked drowning water, let go wicked water. You wicked drowning water. I wanna be less than I can be. The waterfall to wash me and cleanse me. Wicked drowning water, let go wicked water. Wicked drowning water.
I leave what's left of last night behind. And I need to get some peace of mind. And when I need some peace of mind, I know where to find it there. By the end of the road. So I walk and I keep on walking. Though the shoes I wear are a mess. As I walk and I keep on walking. Till I'm at the end of the road. I walk until my feet are hurting. And I need to keep on going further. 'Cause I can't keep my mind off things I'd be better off to leave behind. Gotta be careful not to get stuck. And so I walk and I keep on walking. Though the shoes I wear are a mess. As I walk and I keep on walking. Till I'm at the end of the road.
oh my. Woo! Man. They say leave them wanting more, right? Did it work? Alright, Manelli. 2 hours of that. Just, I don't know. You guys ever think about that? Especially for like you people who come in the beginning. I looked at the hour and 50. Hour and 50 minutes. I would betcha if I went in and I edited out all of the quiet parts, like where I'm not talking, just the parts where I'm not talking, it would go from an hour and 50, like an hour and 47. Like not even. That seems like a lot. Like I know sometimes I take some long pauses, but at the longest, 7 seconds. So just in a world where that's our reality, man. I like my voice very seldom gets tired. Like I never really need a vocal break. I haven't yet, at least. There's some days where like, oh man, you know, maybe talked a little too much, but nah. So Lindsay, it probably seems longer to you than it is. Sometimes. If I really get going, it's a blink of an eye. Like, yeah, literally 2 hours. It felt like I just started the stream. It really does feel like I just started the stream. And we're 2 hours in, which is wild. Somebody did something. Somebody did something. We're all about to do something. Okay. I just grinds the weeds, that's all. Oh, sunny. Lindsay's making a face. Yeah. There's a reason. Wife. Me and Sonny are training, you see. Me and Sonny are training. So back in the day, Sonny, way back in the day, we used to call it a chicken check. There was actually a redeemable that if they would redeem a chicken check, I would have to do a chicken check, which you know is this. Right? So because of that, sometimes, holy shit, they got a little frosty with it, and they would do a lot of chicken checks, man. And I'm playing Fortnite just completely done. Like, microwave burrito in the microwave done. So we would have to switch to chicken cam. I would take a big old rompe, if you know what that is in Spanish. It's rip. And that was kind of how the stream was born. Poquito. I used to work when I worked in kitchens for years. It was learn Spanish or die. I've lost so much of how much I used to have, but no, back in the day. Let's see, can I say that? Back in the day, me su bebo. Poquito. We'll hit it with you. We'll hit you with a poquito. I always do enough so that I could at least kind of like talk to him, you know? Because, you know, it's only respectful if you're the boss of somebody. You can talk to your people. Ooh, bebo, yo, baby. Bebes. Su habla Espanol, Sonny? I understand a lot more than I can speak. All right. You know, in a world where there can be only one, I swear, if it ever happens, I wonder if I could make a fake Wordle and set you guys up and have the first word be penis. I wonder if I can do that. I'll see. So, okay, no. Oh, I thought that was an audio. Exner was about to get banned. Yeah, right. Like I could ban Exner. It was the penis choke, because our only double is the E. That's right. Fecal smear didn't make the cut, unfortunately. Okay, interesting. Gross, hairy. So we gain A-R-Y. Oof, I don't like it. Aggie. Let's not do this again, okay? We did more than enough choking and penis stuff yesterday. Okay, we just feel like we all need to find Jesus a little for today. I learned Spanish for my job when I worked at a warehouse. Truck drivers would come up from Texas. I had to make my job easier. Yep, exactly. I was tired of everyone getting mad at them for not knowing English. Well, because as much as you can get mad about that, yes, I agree. I hold the opinion the same way that I was learning Italian when I was going to go to Italy for culinary school. You should learn the native language of the country that you're going to reside in. That's just logical to me. But in a world where I can't change the world, same deal, man. To make my life easier, I just said fuck it, and I learned language. But exactly. So in a world where it ain't perfect, you just learn Spanish. You learn enough Spanish to talk to them, and then your life just gets easier. You can still be a little upset, I guess, but ultimately just, I don't know, solve your problems instead of bitching about them. You can bitch about them if you're actively working on solving them at the same time. It's why I suck at small talk. People don't ever want to know. Sonny, we get along for a reason. I wish more people understood that. Same. I was always loved. There was never racism in my life until I moved to the South. So I moved to Louisiana. And I'm not going to tell that story because it doesn't fit anybody's narrative. It wasn't racism in the way that you probably think it was. But ultimately, I was like, wow, there really are people that hate me just because of the color of my skin. Fair enough, I guess. I don't know why, but I can tell you what. Being the minority based off of where you live, it's a unique experience, but it really does show you something. It's really just about who's the minority in the area. Because people like to like the people that are similar and dislike the people that are different. And I didn't know about that world until I was exposed to it. I really thought that like racism jokes were just jokes and people actually didn't judge people based off of literally just the color of the skin. But I was okay, this is real. This is real. It's wild, man. But ultimately I had a choice. I could join the hate party and just be pissed and angry all the time. Yo, what's up, Liquid? Or I could learn to get along with as many people as I could. And that's exactly what I did. I became a person who was loved, and any of them that had a problem with the fact that I was white, I didn't really give a fuck. It didn't affect me in any way, and I just lived my life in spite of their bullshit, right? And ultimately, I had some of the best friends ever, man. And guess what? We didn't match. It didn't matter. The only people that it mattered to were so angry. They were so angry about shit that didn't matter at all. And guess what? The people who I was friends with who were not the same color as me. We laughed. We shared stories. We were friends, and we are still our friends to this day, man. And it is wild to me that people care at all about race. It's wild. It blows my fucking mind apart that people just care so much about the pigment. And it's so much more about culture. And it's never talked about culture. Like, race and culture are super connected because of similarities. It's way less about the pigment and more about the general cultural experience of yours, like your color of, well, we're all, I'm going to say species, because it's stupid. The fact that race exists anymore in like a modern world is weird. It's so much more about culture than race, like skin color. Where you were born, what culture you are raised in, very much almost inevitably will determine how you are as a person. They're not like cookie cutter, but the influences are proven time and time again. And it just, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's just weird. It's weird when you're not that person who I'm the person who gets mad all the time, or passionate, I like to say. But it is never about what anybody else is mad about. Because I always feel like that shit is so petty. Like, oh, wouldn't it just be easier to either not care or love each other? And then after that happens, we can focus on the fact that we don't have any space colonies yet. Pretty pissed about that. Or maybe that, we're taxed over a quarter of our money gets stolen from us, whether we want to participate in society or not. Like, maybe we should talk about that. How about the fact that it's illegal to collect water that falls from the sky in certain places? Anybody want to get mad about any of that? No? Or that the government can just come in and take your land because they want to build a highway? No? Not a thing? Nobody cares? Cops can just pull you over because, oh, you seem a little suspicious? That's fine, right? We're not mad about that. Oh, yeah. But the skin, the pigment, right? I said a word that I'm not allowed to say. Or you're a place you're not supposed to be. Or you're wearing colors you're not supposed to wear. That's the things we care about, right? If I'm wearing the right shirt in a certain location, that's what our arguments are over. Or if my shoes are a certain way. It's crazy, man. The shit we care about. Did I put enough? Did I say the right thing on my Instagram about a war in another country that I've never been to or never planned on being? Like, that is how people live their lives almost exclusively. It's wild. You've never been able to do that before. You've never been able to live vicariously through the traumas and negativities of others. It was so much harder to claim victim status. And now it's like a badge of honor. I don't want to go cyclical because I know we talked about that before, but it's interesting, isn't it? There literally is an entire industry formed and continuing to grow around victimhood. You can monetize your trauma. Wild. I don't know why you would. Why would you do that? Oh, man. It's just interesting. If you could give one pro tip on life that's not explicit, what would it be? I'm assuming you mean like general life. You want a pro tip on life, Nimmers? You want a pro tip on life? You want to know the number one way to make sure that when you rest your head on that bed for the last time, that you spend every moment of your life making sure that you and everyone else around you is living. That's the first thing that came to mind. But it's true, though. It's true. As someone who has made it a point in their life to make sure that the grand majority of my experiences have been lived. I was there. I saw it. It's my story. It's not somebody else's story. I'm not regurgitating someone else's lived life. I went to the place. I climbed the thing. I slept with the girl. That's explicit, sorry. But I did it. I did it. And I made sure that anybody in my life always knew that if you want, you better come with me. Because I'd rather live with you. I'd rather live my life together than live it alone. But if you only have a choice to do it alone, you better be living. You better look back on your life and know that you have an abundance of stories to share. I want your life to be a story that gets told after you're gone. And I promise you, if you're not living that life, if you're not waking up every day and living, doing something that you can share, good or bad, you're not living. You're not living. You're existing. You were born to live, not to exist. And it has never been easier in modern times to simply just exist. You're more than the product of your watched hours. It's fine to have downtime. There's nothing wrong with idling for a while. But if you look back and it's been over a year since you have a new story to tell, it's time to do something, man. Oh, did I get big again? You know what I mean, though? Like, you have to make sure that you are living a life of experience. You have to. And until you have experiences that are your own experiences, you haven't lived. You haven't. You've lived through somebody else's design, somebody else's product, somebody else's world. And what that means, it's up to you. You know, it could be start a business. It could be travel. It could be have a family. It could be get a divorce, get married again. There's a billion different ways to live. But only you know what you want to do. If you're not looking at what you want, you will never have it. No one will give you a life. Nobody is going to show up at your door and say, hey, here's all your dreams. Can you imagine? Just a big ass check that said dreams, and you just cash that bitch and get whatever you want. It will never happen. It will never happen. But what will happen, almost guaranteed, is that if you try until you succeed, you will. 100%. 100%. The only time you guarantee failure is when you try to fly without a machine. And if you don't try to live, if you don't try, you will fail. Period. I would rather try and fail 1,000,000 times than just live a life of nothing. Well, and now I can't unsee it. I mean, I'm the grand illusion slot. I would never mention that spot on his face. I can't stop looking at. What spot? Well, that's not fair because now I can't look. Wait. There's not a spot on my face. I know you're fucking with me, but I gotta kind of make sure. I think I look pretty good. These bags on my eyes are unbelievable, though, huh? Okay. I would never mention that. Listen, y'all are funny. Y'all got jokes. Everybody's a goddamn comedian. Good. Did I get it? All right. As long as it's not a booger, I'm good. Here we go. Don't think about it. It's like looking into the sun. I mean, the only place that it could be would be like my eyes or something. All right. I know you're just messing with me. Ooh. Erect. Now, Sonny, if you get this, bless you, baby. You get this. You're too smart for us. Oh, what? No way. Elect? Listen here, booty cheeks, okay? Are you kidding? Oh, but do you guys realize that we have an erect penis to choke on real quick? That's pretty good. Oh, it's the glorious things in life that make you the happiest. No way! I really elected to have an erect penis to choke on. Were you kidding? Okay, so we got erect, elect, eject. Usually the ejection comes after the penis choking. Wow. All right, let's just make sure real quick before we jump down this throat too quick. Well, I should have said before we jump down the throat. Well, Nim, I think I still owe you a clean one. I can do better. So we got erect, elect, eject, expect, eclectic, eject. It's got to be eject, right? Unreal. You know, in a world of great jokes or great words, though, penis, choke, erect. Come on. We won just from that. Boom, boom, boom. Too easy. It's too good. Oh, man. Equals eject. We got it. The Lord said, let there be humor. He delivered. Oh, my. All right, y'all. Let's... Nope. That one was too quick. You guys want to do Quordle or LBS? You tell me. Let's do... Boom. So, man, I'm so proud of us. Not only have we maintained our humor, we've never used audio. It just never lets us down. It never lets us down. Richard! What's up, Richie? How you doing, bud? It's been a, man.
Okay, boys.
C-Town with the raid. Decent. What's up, C-Town? How you doing, dog? I was just looking at your Twitter. Oh, joke. Come on. No way. We do love, so we rocked Booby for a while, but now Choke gets us the O. You know, Richie, that's actually how Exner says hi. You know, she goes to check out at the Walgreens. She's like, oh, hi, Rensky. Dicks! It's like, oh, that's just her. She means well. She always laughs after she says it. C-Town, she was the one typing all of my messages to you. So she definitely heard the good news. You know, the irony of C-Town, he would have been a great counterpoint, I think, to what we were talking about earlier. Because he's in that youth, sheeshful, you know, searching women type. He would have really been able to give some good insight to what we were talking about earlier. So what do we gain here? We gain a D, a C, and that's it. Dix is not strong enough. If only I wasn't in class. I know.
I know. C-Town, I wish you weren't in class either. Because just think, what would you be doing with your time right now if you weren't in class and also in class watching whatever I'm doing here, streaming. 2 hours and 15 minutes extra. Your soul glows like white phosphorus. If you know anything about white phosphorus, you know exactly how hot white phosphorus is and how bright white phosphorus glows. It is ridiculous. White phosphorus is what they use for flares for heat-seeking missiles. What was I doing here? No, C-Town. We are so proud of you. Like, we got the whole family together, sat them around the Christmas tree and told the tale of when C-Town got his groove back. That's actually would be a funny clip. Musty? Musty peanut. I like musty. I'm doing it. I'm not even hesitating. No, C-Town, you got to mix it up. You don't. So it's just like when you have chickens, okay? You can't put all your chickens in the same spot for too long or it strips the earth dry. Okay? You need to stay on your toes, and therefore every weekend's got to be a different bar. Every weekend. Now, once the cycle has been completed, it's like a 7-cycle situation is what you got to do. Okay? So every 7 bars, you got to you can go back to the first one again. But then you got to apply the random algorithm because you can't just do the same 7-cycle bar rotation every time. Okay? I'm telling you, C-Town, you're learning. You're finally shedding those little caterpillar wings and becoming the great moth that I know you could be. All right, butterfly? So get those peacock wings a flapping because you got some shit to learn. All right? Minty? Ooh. Minty is a solid guess. I love it. It's going. Boom. Done. It's that easy. Minty! We got this one. See, and that's fine, though. Okay, so because you're a peacock, you're in a sea of cowboy hats, all right? You're the baseball cap. In a world of shit kickers, you're wearing the Dockers, you know? In the ocean of farm muscles, you're the gentle type. You know, it all comes together, C-Town. Baseball cap and motorcycle helmet. Right? Remember? We talked about this, C-Town. So, okay, C-Town, you distracted me, though. No, C-Town, I don't want to hear your excuses. The bar isn't like any other. All bars are the same. I've been to every bar that's ever existed in this world, and I can tell you right now, they're all the same. The only thing that changes from bar to bar is the people that are in it. It's all liquor. It's all music. It's all people who want the same thing, fun, sexual intercourse, and future love and relationships and sociality. The atmosphere that bar is in simply determines what type of people are in it. I'm telling you right now. That's why you got to go. Variety is the spice of life, and you all know it. I've said it before. I've said it. Some people just want to get liquored up, but they don't. Then why don't they do it at home? I'm telling you, there's a reason even the worst people go to bars, because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to they want socialization. Even when they're drinking their demons away and they just, they fall over and puke all over themselves. They promise you they can do that at home, but they don't. And it's because at bars, that is the easiest place that people can go to not be alone. And because loneliness is the scent of the air that is bars, you can't be too saturated in that stink. You know, you want to try to be the exception to the rule without, being a liar. Everybody knows why you're there. But if you go to the same bar every time, you get complacent. Okay? There's a reason football games go all over the place. This isn't it, but there is a reason, I'm sure. Okay? So just trust me. Large Marge is too powerful. Where are we talking Marge here? So we got, there's no other M's. Some people, man, and I used to I don't miss bars, but I loved going to the bar. It was so much fun. I always loved to hang out with people. Even I would go by myself. I would just sit at the bar alone and just talk to anybody who would sit next to me. It was fun. I loved talking to the bartender, and then I would be wasted and I would go home. I wouldn't drive, but I would go home, and it's way better because I've also drank alone at home, and that sucks ass. You know, I always say you're never alone as long as you got the internet. Well, nothing beats face-to-face. Nothing beats face-to-face. And I'll spend $8-9 for a drink just to get that, excuse me, just to get that interaction, you know? It's so much more than the vice. There's definitely, the vice is there, 1,000,000,000%. But I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be at home by myself. And that's why I went to the bar. And I went to the bar all the time. And sure, there was like side quests, try to find a girl, try to whatever, have a story, try to do something cool, whatever. But ultimately, the watering hole, that's where you go. That's where you go to find your fellow gazelles. I have not been paying attention at all. Large for the letters. Larg are all new letters. We don't have an R yet? Or I mean an A? Gee. It's okay, Sonny. So C-Town he's like my little boy, right? I'm taking him under my chicken wing and I'm showing him the way of the world that only Uncle Marcus knows how to do. Okay? Oh no. So please, for the love of me not feeling like an ancient person, the watering hole is a very common phrase, right? Like, people would know the nomenclature of watering hole, and they would say, like, oh, yeah, I know what that means. All right, let's solve one now. We got to solve one. No excuses. We got E-U-S-S-E-E. L-O-L-O. Okay, what do we got? Barge? Nope, because the G's not there. What do we got? L-A-I. I got no music. Stand by. Senpai. Let's go. Okay. All right. Oh, my nose itches. So, what do we got here? L-A-I-E-G. So we have all the letters, right? All right, so next time I'll go somewhere. Never went before. Just like Star Trek. New frontier, baby. You should. I'm telling you. See, he says next time. Because he's playing it safe. You've been playing it safe your whole life, and you finally broke that mold. Look what happened. And now you're going to do it again? You're not going to learn from your past mistakes and realize that Marcus knows? D-Town? Yeah, next time, Marcus. No, but ultimately what I'm the most proud of, C-Town, is you. So, bagel. Nope, because the E. What about bagley? Nope, not one. Hold on. How come not barge? Because the G, you idiot, and the A. And there's no B in it. So it's E. L-I-A-E. A-E-I. No, there's a G. So the G's got to start it. There's no way the G isn't. Okay. So G-L. Oh, it appears, now that I'm seeing it, it looks like Mrs. Marcus wants me to try agile. I felt something. There was some sort of noise, like the throwing of pencils coming at me. So we got A, G, I, L, E. You happy? Good job, Lindsay. Way to go. The pencils. I don't know where she keeps getting these pencils, man. I keep throwing them away, and then she just walks back in with a handful, smiling. It's like, all right, man. Seems like a waste of pencils. Good job, wife. Good job. Good job, wife. Eagle, glare, nice, sunny, nice. Lamau, Exner, too short. It's 5. LMAO. So yeah, I think you have to throw LFMAO to make it work. You know I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. C-Town, what class are you in right now? All right, so we got R-I-E. A lot of E's. E-U-S. Ooh, sus. Sussy. Oh, you just got home. Aw. Well, look at me not distracted. It's, is it less fun? Or is it bad that it's less fun now that I feel like you're not like in class watching Marcus? Like, hey, teacher. I mean, any word, you guys. Just throw one out. All right, well, as soon as somebody feels like... hold on. What about... Now, hear me out. What about fried? I mean, it kind of came to me out of nowhere, Because what do we got here? Sounds like a good... Yeah, I figured you would say it, Lindsay. That's some 5-head stuff. You can't afford to watch it, man. Why not? You saying you can't pay attention to 2 things at once? Oh. No mames way. We have 2 guesses, and we need 2 answers. What are you going to do with that econ plan? What's the plan with that major? You going to be on Wall Street? We don't have a D yet? Oh, the double. The double. So econ. Where do you go with econ? It is. It is. It is. That's why I don't know if I should put my headphones up like this. Kind of shrink down the head a little. Because I mean, when I wear them back here, I'm at like a 7 head at this point. So like finding that, dialing her into 6 is the best I can really hope for. No, see, that's what somebody with a useless degree says. Give me a specific job that you hope to have with your degree. Okay. You have a job lined up with Fastenal? Nice, because that's where you're working right now. But does your job lined up at Fastenal involve your degree? It's got to be dried, right? Okay, yes. Woo. I saw a chick one time with an 8 head. Oh, bless her heart. She probably had a great personality. Could you get the job without the degree? What do we got here? So look at this. USED. We're right there. We are right there. Interesting. Okay. So mainly sales. Interesting. Okay. I'm not shitting on it, C-Town. I'm asking questions. Because, time, money, effort all matter in the grand scheme. Because I didn't go to college. I have 2 associate's degrees because I did them while I was in the military. So I was working and going to school, which you are too, right? So that's where. But I only got them because it looks good for my military career. So I went to school after working 12 hours. It was a lot. But I did it. And I got the awards, the accolades, and the yippity-dippity goes. But for people who do it for like a job, people who go into college with the plan or the idea of like getting work outside of it, I always find it interesting to ask, like, what's the plan? And that's a question I've always asked, not even in recent times. back in the day, you could ask somebody why they were going to college, and they would just say, because I was told to. Like, oh, I hope you don't come to regret that decision. Really? Because how long, man? So you've had 2 years of COVID college too, right? That's wild, man. What a time to live through. All right. Have we seriously not done a B yet? Besides, the Wall Street homeboys work like 50. Oh, yeah, dude. Well, yeah, and that's why they're millionaires. I really like bust, and I don't know what else it could possibly be, because it's not fussed, it's not lust, must, cussed, pust. It's probably not bust or zust or cussed or quust. Is what was the word? No. Just. It's got to be bust. And the Lord said, "Let there be bust." Woo! Unbreakable reached the maximum streak of 5 for the daily. Was that an accolade, or was that making fun of me? I have my own book of accounts. Nice. This job is Monday through Friday, first shift, holidays off, and commissions. Your current job is. You love that, dude. That's like the dream time. If you're going to be working for somebody else, like, absolutely. You want the Monday through Friday, morning shift, holidays off. You get paid more if you work harder. Like, gee. Oh, the future one is. Interesting. Do you get paid for your internship, though? Just not the commissions? This was a good one. This one was all you guys. I did nothing on this one. I literally just looked at chat and then listened or felt for pencil stabs, and then boom. You guys killed it. You knocked it out of the water. So how much longer do you have for college, C-Town?
Well, she likes to say we shouldn't, but you know we always will. The hollers catch me if you can.
Anyone that does an internship for free is an idiot. You spelled idiot wrong. You spelled idiot W-R-O-N-G. It's I-D-I-O-T. And if any of you did that, I don't mean to offend you, but that is truly and totally my belief. Free labor with the guise of like a future? Nah. There's nothing wrong with like earning your way up from the bottom, like being an intern, but your time has value. And it, even at the barest of all the minimums, it has value. Now, obviously, there are a billion exceptions, and I could tell you, I could come up with 1,000 different instances where that is not the case, and working for free will actually benefit you. I'm not talking about the one-offs. We're not all zebras. Most people have if they want to, they can have a pretty predictable life. And it is a universal truth that internships is a new idea that comes from education, and it is a wonderful, wonderful way to get free labor under the guise of knowledge. And you know what that used to be called? Just working. You just worked. You showed up for work and you made shit money. You did the shit jobs, but if you did a good job at those shit jobs, you excelled. And that was literally my entire life. Almost every place I went to, man, I started at the bottom and I left at the top because I wanted to do well. And if the job didn't respect me, I dipped. But most of the time, they did not want me to leave because I worked my ass off, man. I always did more than I was paid to do. And I reaped the benefits every single time. Every single time. But I also knew my worth. I knew my value. And if I didn't know my value, a lot of people would have taken advantage of my hard work. Hey, Mark, will you come in? Homie called in sick. Yeah, but you can give me sick pay? Like, that was way down the road, but that's a good example. It's just like, hey, Mark, will you come in? It's like, yeah, I will. I don't mind. And then I would come in and I would work. And then I would come home. And then when I said, but then here's a good example of respecting my time. Hey, I'm going on vacation for this weekend. It's in like 2-3 weeks. Oh, man, I don't know. It's like, no, I'm going on vacation this weekend, meaning if you schedule me, I will not be there. I don't fire me. I don't care. I understand that I am an asset to you. I'm doing the respectful thing. You respect me, and we will make it work. But the moment that you don't respect your time or their time, you're going to be a shit employee, man, and you won't make it far, and you're going to feel oppressed as an employee your whole life. And it's just not the way. You don't need to work for the man or slave for the man. Just show them to do a goddamn job. That's what they want you to do. They want you to show up, do a job, and shut up about it. Take your paycheck, go home. And then when you're home, that's when everything should matter. That's when you should be doing all the things you love. That's when you should be doing all the things that make you happy, because work provides for that happiness. Now don't live a shitty life, but sure as hell don't stay somewhere shitty simply because it's too hard. One more semester to go. Right on, C-Town. Every job I ever had besides this one, I started at the bottom and and left at the bottom. Well, C-Town, well, there's something to be said there, brother. That's really funny, though. That was good. That's what I do, too, but it has been taken advantage of as well. And I've been, same, brother. Richard, same. The trick for me was when I finally learned what it meant to be taken, what it meant to be taken advantage of. That was a really big awakening for me. It was the time when I realized, wait, I bust my ass. I don't really do anything that's a negative to this business. And because of that, I have no reason to feel bad for requesting time off. Because when I'm here, I earn every penny and more. So when I'm not here, they should appreciate that. And if they don't, get fucked. Are you crazy? How much I loved and respected myself is the only reason after I had kind of the realization of my worth, I was never taken advantage of again. It absolutely not. I knew where my time should be spent and how I spent that time. And because of that, I never felt guilty for not doing the requests of my employers if they were out of sort. I didn't request time off. Like I just said, I told them when my time off would be. And it was always respectful, but it just, I don't know. It's hard to articulate it in a way that doesn't sound like you're an ass. But in application, I promise you, it was never an issue. They always be like, oh, of course, Mark, of course, you got it, buddy. Thank you for what you do. I was always, for the most part, appreciated at the jobs I worked at. Even in the ones where I was screamed at and we fought and yelled and it was dirty and awful and I had a knife thrown at me one time. I haven't had just these cushy jobs. I've busted my ass. I've worked in construction. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in the military. I've worked in, did I ever do office? Kinda. I did retail. I did sales. I've sold homes. I've been an entertainer. This one's the most recent. But I've done a lot. And I want to do more. I really do want to do more. Sorry, that distracted me kind of the same way boobs did. Just made me feel good to think about. Because, man, I've done a lot. And through all of that shit I've done, I've just kind of gained some perspective. I've gained some instances of knowledge that have aided me just like a damn superpower, man. Like you want to be a superhero? You gain a life of experience, and you are a superhero. You can do things that blow people's mind. And it's just another day for Marcus. And each and every one of you are capable of that. But the only way to do it is through hard work. It's through travel. It's through saving money. It's through pinching pennies. It's through meeting new people, being uncomfortable, being in pain, sweating, being sore, breaking bones, like being naked in public. You can't obtain greatness without being great. You have to live a great life if you want to live a great life. Your book you are the author of your own book. No one's going to write it for you. No one's going to write your stories for you. So just get out, just go make sure you got some good stories. And it can be stories of love. It can be stories of adventure. It can be stories of sorrow and loss. It can be stories of enlightenment and education. But they're your stories. They're your stories. And I just want to make sure that you're living life that just is full of them, man. Just full of experiences. Because nothing will make you happier at the end. Because even right now, even as an admittedly broken man for the last couple of years, and somebody who's working on becoming better and becoming just the perfect version of a human that he can be, I can say that with complete and total confidence, that if you want it, and that thing is happiness, you will get it. You will. You will. You just have to work for it. Marcus was born to be a Chad guru. I don't even know what that means. Like, I do, but I don't know exactly what a guru to the Chads would look like. Do I need to have a trucker hat on and a shirt that's a little too tight? The puffy nipples are what makes it hard, man. More of a hoodie guy, you know? That's a lot of bros. Bro is not a big part of my repertoire either. When I was at Lowe's back in the day, I was a superstar. I always showed up on time and did everything they asked me to do. It was never enough for management. Well, so there's a good example of a caveat. When you're working for a big, soulless corporation that is global, not just international, global, okay? Essentially, your efforts, you are behooved to the comings and goings of the higher-ups. Very similar to military, just not as aggressive, right? But essentially, your local managers, your local, like people that you actually see and interact with, talk with, form relationships with, I would be surprised if you told me they didn't appreciate you. Your coworkers, your immediate supervision, possibly. Like, I'd be surprised if those people, if you, like you said you did, because I believe you 100%, showed up, kicked ass, made them laugh. I have no joke. I have no doubt in my mind. I can see it right now. You're probably great with customers, you know. I don't know what their dating policy is, but I doubt you violated it more than twice. And ultimately, C-Town, like, on a smaller scale, I guarantee you, your effort would have been rewarded to a much, much, much higher level. But because the machine that you were trying to impress is simply so enormous, if you truly want to excel in that world, you can't just do the basics of show up on time, do the extra, go above and beyond. Because those are great. Those are huge. But they're not $250 million a month huge. Because that's the numbers that those companies are working in. They're working in the hundreds of millions a month. So ultimately, the expectation is to do... Actually, their expectation is surprisingly low when it comes to corporate. Because so much about corporate is mitigating loss. So you mitigate for the people who don't show up on time. You have to mitigate for the people who call in sick. You have to mitigate for the people who get hurt. Right? So ultimately, their main concern is mitigating loss rather than providing value. And there's a whole different story. There's a whole different train of thought to be there. The people that didn't matter appreciated me, but the ones that did just don't care. Absolutely, man. And that's why I didn't survive in a corporate world. I couldn't survive in what I felt was just an empty shell of check boxes being done, right? Like ultimately, yep, we met this quota. Yep, we did this. Checkbox, check. There's no uniqueness. There's no individualism. You're simply a blue vest, and then the next person is a new person in that same blue vest. It's the same vest after vest after vest. So to, like, for example, I guarantee you, if you would have derived some new sorting or stock program and you provided that to Lowe's, the people who had power, I bet you they would have noticed. And I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it's a different level. To grow as an individual, you have to look at what you're growing into. You know, the great fiddler crab can't go from a 7-Up mini can to a 2-liter bottle. It's just not how it works. Not strong enough, hasn't developed the muscles, doesn't know what's going on. Also, 2-liter bottle wouldn't be a good shell. That's a bad analogy, but you get my point. You know, essentially, you got to grow at a scale that will be recognizable to whatever industry you're trying to grow in, right? And I only worked for a couple of those big-ass conglomerates. Like a great example, I worked for Dish, like satellite dishes. I installed satellite dishes. I was the number one salesman in the office. They recognized me on the regular. At the meetings, they talked to my accolades. I had the lowest troubleshoot, what are they called? TIs or whatever. Basically like troubleshoot calls, right? So I had when I did my job, they didn't have to call back and say, hey, this didn't work. And I killed it. I showed up, I killed it. They loved me. But guess who didn't get promoted to manager? Markus. You know why? And as I was proceeded to be apologized to and asked not to leave the company after it happened, I did not become the manager because I wasn't a company man. They said, we feel like you're probably not going to stay for the long term. And when they told me that, I was like, you're right. Especially now. Here's my 2 weeks. Because ultimately, I felt unappreciated for the hard work that I put in. They acknowledged the hard work that I put in and ultimately said, because you're not a company man, it won't work. And I was, hey, man, I respect that. But guess what? You showed me that what I provide will not be rewarded above the rewards that I have already gotten. So in that world, it's time to move on. And that's exactly what I did. You peak, you move on. There's nothing wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. But the fact of the matter is, I wasn't what Dish, the conglomerate Dish, wanted for a manager, and therefore my individual efforts unfortunately fell upon deaf ears. And I respect that from a company. If I was running Dish, do you think I would be able to make sure that every single manager was the right one for the job? That's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. You have to have a certain set of standards when you're at that giant level of a company, because it has to run kind of like a machine. But if you're not the type of person that wants to be in a machine, then don't be. That's the truth. That work in small companies, smaller companies that you can be recognized in, and babushka, you advance. What are we even talking about now? I mean, I feel like I'm enjoying the talk. What a shift, huh? That's what I do too, but it has been taken. Already read that. I love reading Richie's twice. Oh, how's the pewter, Richie? You said you tested her out. All systems go? Well, when I was at Lowe's back in the day, I was a superstar. I'm way behind. What am I doing? Go to my 30,000 student campus and flex the master cheeks. Finally, C-Town is opening his ears and listening to what I have to tell him. Oh, wow. I went way too far back. I already read these. I thought I could brute force advancement with time and effort, but I was young, dumb, and wrong. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because again, you think that the rules apply universally because 90% of the time they do. 90% of the time, if you work hard, show up early, and do a little more than you're expected to, you will advance. You will be rewarded. You will get promotions, and your life will your work life especially will be overtly better, way better. I don't know if that's overtly is the right call there, but it will be. Now, 10% of the time, that won't be the case. You will bust your ass. You will show up early. You will leave late. You will do everything and more. And no matter what you do, it will never be good enough. It will never be enough. And you will never be rewarded for it. And that is where you, as an individual, as an adult, and as somebody who deserves happiness, need to love and respect yourself enough to walk away. You need to take on the responsibility and consequences of choosing to live a happy life over a comfortable life. And I can tell you as an adult, I don't even have kids. But if I did, it's very, very difficult to restart. It's very, very difficult to take a chance on yourself while also risking your very existence, the life you have built. But I can tell you right now, I would rather you struggle the worst you've ever struggled in your whole life for a short amount of time than to go the whole rest of your life simply being happy enough so that you can be comfortable. I don't want that for any one of you. And that doesn't mean you just got to quit. It doesn't mean it just means that you need to know when your life could be better and when you have control of that life to make it better. That's all. That's the crux of it. You just need to look inside your life enough to make good decisions that improve what you're doing and who you are. I sneezed. You sneezed when I said babushka? Wait, no, it's she says it all. Guten Tag. No, it's I sneeze. Exner says something, and then I say shit. What am I supposed to say? And then you tell me, and I forget both words again. Let's just skip it. And I'll just say bless you. Well, and everything will be all right, but that just doesn't guarantee an outcome. Exhuming effort doesn't guarantee anything. Just because you tried really hard, researched really hard, went to school really hard, got good grades really hard, made love really hard, just because you did it all really hard, doesn't mean you won't end up homeless. Like, that's super shitty to try to, believe. But trust me, believing it will make sure that you never do. Like, if you understand that you are not guaranteed dick just because you tried, you will always work hard to make sure that your life doesn't fall apart. Because essentially, you've earned it. You've always made sure that you've earned it. Now, what I recommend, though, is you work hard and set yourself up so that you don't have to work as hard later. You shouldn't work your whole life. You shouldn't work your fingers to the bone. You should work a long time until you can survive without busting your butt. But until you reach that point, find the love in the work. Find the love tonight. Right? I had that song stuck in my head. Wait, that wasn't it, though. Which song was stuck in my head? So one of Dr. Disrespect song got stuck in my head. Chicos. And it went pretty, you know. What was it? Oh, was that you? I don't know what to tell you guys other than you're good people. You're really good people. You make me happy. I mean, it just, like C-Town, okay, I got to tell a story real quick. All right, so C-Town the other day sent me a message, okay? And I was so proud of that message because it's something that has just kind of been a little bit of a running joke between me and C-Town. And so our little boy C-Town, ladies and man, he finally lived up to his life, right? Or lived up to his name. He's laced up his boots, put on his tight jeans, showed off his ass, and he got himself laid. I am so proud of him. But here's the thing, okay? Because outside of like, sure, he got laid, good for you. Way to go. We've all been laid, about time. But my point is, all of us out of the blue. So for the longest I've known C-Town, I've always asked him, like, C-Town, tell me a story. Tell me a story. Like, I'm going to find you a girlfriend. I'm going to, and like, there's always been kind of a joke about C-Town finding a feminista, right? And I don't really think anything of it other than that's just the joke. That's the joke that stuck between me and the old C-Town. And randomly, one night, Discord goes a popping, ding. I was like, here we go. So I jump onto Discord, and Lindsay jumps on. Sure enough, it's the very handsome, the exceptionally charming, the man with the mouth, C-Town, ladies and man. And the message, let me make sure that I'm representing him correctly. Okay, the message was this simple. Hold on. Oh crap! Now I gotta find it. Here we go. Okay. So out of nowhere, on a steamy November 25th at 5:30 p.m., I get one message and one message only. I got some big, all caps, I got some big news for you. 11:25 at 6:45 p.m. So over an hour and 15 minutes later. Let me hear it, King. And then I said, you should name him Marcus. Because I automatically knew two things have either happened. Either one, C-Town finally found himself a lady. Or two, C-Town found himself a lady and got her pregnant. So that's I knew these two things to be true. Before he even said any other words, just the energy that C-Town and I share was so strong that I knew, like, C-Town's touching a boob. So the greatness comes in, and sure enough, he tells me, I got myself a feminista. I'm like, oh, C-Town, I'm so proud of you, man. But the best part for me, the part that truly made me so happy, was that C-Town had absolutely no reason to tell me. Okay, I like C-Town. I consider him a friend, but he's an online streamer friend. We have very short interactions together, and he has a whole group of friends that I'm sure are way more attentive, show up to his stream, just way more people he could be invested in. But he chose, out of all the people that he knows in his life, to come to me just to let me know that he hooked up and that I would be proud of him. Do you know how big of a deal that is to me? That I have imparted something onto another individual enough that they actually are proud to tell me something, an accomplishment that they have done in their lives. It's huge, man. Okay, so Captain Popular Pants over here with his hundreds of frickin' followers and friends. Okay, thousands of toadies on the internet. Okay, OnlyFans off the fucking charts. They call him the Great-Nosed Bandit. Okay, never shows his face. He specializes in squats. Okay, this guy right here, C-Town ladies man, came to Marcus to share one of his accomplishments. And it felt good, man. It felt good. And you don't just have to come to me when you hook up. Like, I want to hear about all your victories. Well, good. I'm glad I didn't tell too much of the story then. But ultimately, it's just, those are the connections that I'm talking about. Whenever I preach about, like, do things in your life that will bring you joy, it's not as grandioso as you guys might think. I mean, it is literally, if you're proud of something you've done, tell 4 people, minimum minimum, right? If you're unsure and maybe are on the fence about a decision you're about to make, go ask a minimum of 3 people what they think about it, even if you know what their answer is going to be. And the main reason for that is thoughts have a crazy way of getting stuck in our head, right? Like something that will be a minor annoyance, if expressed at the time, could turn into such a cancerous tumor that it could end a friendship. And then before you know it, what could have been a short conversation about a misunderstanding has grown into this massive ball of frustration because it's been months that you have been ruminating about this event. And because of that, it just turned into this like gross, like hate baby that you give birth to, and it ruins everything. And then same deal with a good thing. So say you're really proud. Say you beat a game that you busted your ass on, and you truly got a sense of pride from it, but it's silly because it's a video game. Or say you like drew a picture and like, damn man, look at this picture, it's fucking cool. Like I'm really, like you feel good about it, but you don't show anybody because you convince yourself it's stupid or it's not good enough. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you write your own destiny and make it a bad destiny? Why would you write a shitty story for yourself? Don't deter. Essentially, the only time you're allowed to not get input from people you love and respect is if you're trying to like surprise them. It's a hard line to talk because I believe in privacy 100%. But my main point is like enough people aren't celebrating their victories with people, the small ones. Enough people aren't expressing their personal frustrations. They'll talk politics all day. They'll talk religion all day. They'll talk negative big shit all day. But you talk to them about them, they don't know what the fuck to say. They don't know what to do. Like, no, wait, whoa. I understand you believe this about Florida. What are you doing? What is your life like? Why are you so mad at me about something that's happening in another state? Chill the fuck out. Right? I kind of lost my original point at that one, but there's got to be one in there somewhere, right? So yeah, you know how it goes. I get to rambling. Okay. I actually haven't told that many people because I want to tell the story on stream. When are you telling the story on stream? Why are you keeping the people waiting? You want to make sure it wasn't a dream? Just imagine. You have like a multiple day stream or dream, right? Like you meet a girl, you have fun, you tell your buddy Markus about it, and like you go to work and it's all part of the dream. It's all part of the dream. And then you just kind of wake up one day. And it's not even like you were in a coma. You just had a normal night's rest. But the dream was so vivid and you were so proud that you finally hooked up. And then you just wake up from it. Oh. That would suck so much. Because then, like, even this conversation wouldn't have happened, C-Town. Because this would be part of the dream. Oh, man. You're awake, though, C-Town. You pinch yourself. You're awake. They were real boobs. What else you got, Lindsay? Yeah, because I can see that, too. Oh, man. I tell you guys. It, you know what's... Nope, not telling you that story. Boobs. Yep, let's stick with boobs because I am not about to tell you that story. Maybe one day. Maybe if you guys ever get me drinking again on stream. Oh, boy. All right, y'all. You know what, though? Oh, what time is it? 1:10. I mean, I think we end it there. We end it on a high note. Because I can tell you what, y'all. Oh, C-Town. You know what's funny, man, is like less than 2 years ago, I would blow your guys' fucking mind about the person I was. Because you guys get glimpses of it. Like every now and then my old shit comes out. And like not because I'm hiding it, not because I'm like pushing it away, right? Like it's just I'm different. I'm a different person. I've just grown up. And like I've evolved. I've grown. And there's good and bad parts to it. But I tell you, holy shit. Confident Marcus it's a sight. It's a sight to be seen. And the reason why I bring up that is because like Drunk Marcus and Confident Marcus are really close friends. So you know what it means. You know what you got to do. It's December 1st. And for you people overseas, it's nighttime. So you probably could just like send a text, make a sticky note. But for the rest of you people, you got time. I want you to go out there, make someone happy, make someone smile. Most importantly, especially make yourself smile. So from the bottom of my heart to the top of yours. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then. YouTube, stay sassy.